DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. This video is the circumstance becomes the reason, or despite circumstances is probably what I'll title this. And the reason I'm talking about this goes along with the video I did a few weeks ago where I said your excuse is your reason. So anytime you have an excuse to not do something, or a reason to not do something, or you're coming up short in some way and you have some circumstance that's affecting your ability to do whatever you're doing, that circumstance actually should be the reason why you get the outcome. So I just finished running the 10K race in Coral Gables here in Miami, and y'all want the proof? Here it is. Here's the participation trophy is this one. Everybody gets this one. You finish the 10K, and then there's the winner's trophy, which is significantly smaller than the participation trophy. Don't ask me why. The winner's not trophy, but medal is way smaller. And as you can see on my lanyard here, you see it says first place. So 10K, first place in my age group. Anyway, I just came from, I'm recording this on a Saturday morning. These races are usually on Saturdays. I was at a conference the last 2 days. Thursday, I got to the conference Wednesday. I was at the conference Thursday, Friday. I took a flight from Dallas to Miami Friday night. Flight left at like 7 o'clock. I got back to Miami. I got back home, in my home at like 12 midnight. Then I put all the stuff away from my luggage, showered, got cleaned up, all of that, went to bed. It was 1 a.m. I had to get up at 5 in order to get to this race, which started at 7 a.m. And I hadn't even done any running for the last 2 weeks because I had a sore hamstring and I need to let it heal. And I know if I just let it heal, I knew I wouldn't be in my best shape because I wasn't able to run to get in shape. But I figured if I could just get in good shape and I'm not injured, I'll do my best with what I got, and we'll see how I end up in this race. So on 4 hours of sleep, after coming off 2 weeks of not running and just having traveled the other day, I went and ran this race. And as you saw the medal, I already showed you the medal, so you already got the proof of how that went, how that turned out. And I'm sharing all that to say this. Over here, work on your game. And any of you come into this world, I don't care if you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or anything in between, we don't make excuses about circumstances. We don't tell stories about circumstances. I'm telling you the story about what happened, not because I need to. I'm not telling you the story to explain myself. I'm telling you the story because this is how it works in life. The only people who need to tell a story, or quote unquote control the narrative, are the people who lose. And if you've listened to my material for a while, you may have heard me talk about this before. Only people who need to control a narrative are those who lose, because they had to tell you a story to make you understand why what happened. I'm telling you the story because I want to, not because I have to. Because the story is, you can just look at the results of the race and you see my name in first place. There's no story. There's no story. It's just the facts. This is what happened. I ain't got to tell you a story. I'm telling you a story again because I'm choosing to tell a story. And this is the way that it works in life. When you win in life, you tell a story because you want to tell a story, because everybody wants to know, hey, what was it that led to you being so successful? How did you become successful? What did you do? What were your thoughts? What was your process? That's when you get to do things like write books and give speeches and, I don't know, start a podcast, have a YouTube channel, whatever you do. Everybody wants to kind of talk to you and they want to hear from you, only because you became successful. You're telling your story by choice. But the people who don't win, what they do is they tell you about all their circumstances. See, had I not performed today, I would have had the option. I would not have taken it, but I would have had the option of coming in here and telling y'all about my circumstances. Well, look, I didn't do as well in the race this year. And by the way, this is the second year in a row that I won this race. I've only run it twice. I won it last year and I won it again this year. So next year, you know what it is, 3P. But anyway, I could have came in here and told y'all a story. Like, hey, I only had 4 hours of sleep last night and I ain't been home for 3 days and my hamstring was bothering me and I wasn't able to get in the right condition for this race. And that's why my time was slower this year than it was last year. All of those things are factually true and accurate. And that would have been me making an excuse and telling a story and using the circumstances as an excuse for my outcomes. We don't do that. And any of you, I don't care if you have never run a race in your life and you think running is stupid, you never played a sport, if you own a business or don't own a business, any aspect of your life, we're not about using the circumstance as the story / excuse / reason / explanation for why your outcome is your outcome. Your job is to produce results regardless of the circumstances, or if you would like to, because of the circumstances. You should use the circumstance as a reason. Like, you know what? I only got this much sleep. I got this situation happening with my body. I got these other things going on. You know what? Because of all this, I'm going to go out and perform at my highest level because all these things are happening. So you can easily flip that. You can easily flip the equation from using it as a reason to fail to using it as a reason to become successful. Using that as a reason to produce your outcome. And then you can look at yourself and say, damn, you know what? If I could perform like this under these circumstances, what excuse do I have to not be performing at my best when everything is actually set up the way that I want it to be? Like, so if I could go out and win, and perform in this race the way that I did today, I'll just use myself here. If I could do this with these circumstances that I just told you all about, now what excuse do I have when I get 8 hours of sleep if I could do this on 4 hours? What excuse do I have when my legs feel fine and I don't have a sore muscle anywhere that I need to rest and my body feels 100% perfect? What excuse do I have on those days? What excuse do I have when I'm not coming from traveling, when I'm home every day, I get to sleep in my own bed, eat the food that I choose, I'm not picking something out of some takeout restaurant or the airport's food. I'm eating the food that I choose that is going along with my process, my normal every day. What excuse do I have to not perform on those days if I could do it under these circumstances on this day? See, the only way you can have that conversation with yourself, however, is you have to perform under the circumstances that are not ideal. So then when the circumstances are set up the way you want them to be, now what? Now what do you tell yourself? Like, look, it ain't no reason for me to not go out here and do what I'm supposed to do now. I mean, given what I just did. And this is the mental toughness, folks. And this is what I call the bulletproof mindset. The bulletproof mindset is about looking at your situation and circumstances, even when they are not ideal. And most of the time, let's be honest, most of the time in life, you're not going to have a perfect situation. There are a few times in life where everything's lined up, all the stars align perfectly for us to do something. Most of the time, it's not like that. Most of the time, something's off, something's not working, somebody's not doing something. You got this issue over here, but the calendar ain't changing and you got to show up and do what you're supposed to do regardless of the situation. The bulletproof mindset is about installing that in your mind and having it instilled in you to where there are no excuses, there are no stories, and the circumstance that many people will look at and use that as, no, that's in my way, that's going to slow me down, I can't do it because of this, that. You use it as the propeller to move you forward. Okay, you're going to use that as an excuse. I'm going to take the exact same thing and use it as the reason why I need to do what I need to do. That's how you build up the mental toughness. And here's the key thing, folks. This is not a one-time thing that you just think about, when you have some, what do they call it, like a tentpole event, some big event happening in your life that you want to perform for. This is something that you do all the time. And when you make this a normal part of who you are, not something that you do, but who you are, that's when a lot of things in your life are going to start to change, because what you used to use as reasons to not perform actually now become reasons to perform. And do you think that would change your life if you had that kind of alchemy happen in your mind in the way that you think? If so, then here's what I want you to do. First of all, text me. Let me know the best idea you got from this video. My number is 305-384-6894. And secondly, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's the place where you go when you want to work with me directly. If you want to work with me directly, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you can learn how to actually put this bulletproof mindset in. And then how do we take that mindset and make it translate to all the other aspects of your life, like your strategies, that's your game plan, your systems, how do you execute consistently, and of course the accountability to make sure that you are actually doing what you're supposed to do and doing it all the time. All of that is in Work On Your Game University. So workonyourgameuniversity.com, and again, the text number, both of those are listed down below in the description. Work on your game. Dre all day.